Yes, people, we're back. 12th man's back. Race for Europe is back. Big outs every single one of you that's here. Make sure you smash the like on this video now. If you haven't hit like, make sure you're doing it now. If you haven't hit subscribe, make sure you're hitting subscribe and make sure the notification bell is on. Make sure you're following every single one of these guys. There's no Wolfie tonight. Is it a fireworks night? D isn't very well, which is why he wasn't on last night and tonight. And Charlie's come down with something that he's caught in North London. Yeah, he's not ducking this week because Chelsea definitely did not need to duck. They beat Spurs, but yeah, he's not very well. So there's a lot of illness around at the moment. Not many well people. It's that time of the year, I think. Deji will be with us. Trust me, he's running a little bit late, but Deji will be jumping on. We've got Billy in the house. Make sure you're following Billy AV, Billy YouTube, and make sure you're following Errol on Redmen TV. Make sure you're following LB on It's LB, and we've got Pete back in the house. Loaded Mag NUFC. Okay, Lawless is not coming on tonight, no, to cook Pete. That's not going to be happening. He was on last night. Big up to him for hosting because I was out last night. Make sure you're following tonight's sponsors, people. We've got Match Bingo in the live chat and description. Make sure you use the code POTS for that. Lots of people winning on Match Bingo. If you're not downloaded it, please make sure that you do. Click on that link and you will get a discount using the code POTS. And, of course, you've got OK Jerseys. The link is there. The logo is there. Using the code 12MAN, you'll get 8% off of all kits as well. Let's start with Errol and Billy. Seeing as we've got you both on, Deji will come on and he'll get his cooking. Trust me. Liverpool back to basics. Liverpool back to their themselves. If I'm honest, I looked at the team news, Errol, and I thought, I think Liverpool are going to win this. You know, sometimes you look at the team lineup and you think they've gone back to what we knew last season. Slot's gone back to what he's known. He's not trying to slot in excuse the pun, Kirkes or a Frimpong or a Verts or an Isak or all 4 or 5. He's gone back to what he knew last season. Having said that, I don't think Aston Villa were amazing. I've got to be honest. Rodgers hit the post in the first few minutes, and then I kind of thought that was around about it, to be fair. I don't know what you guys thought of it, but Billy, I'll come to you first. Is that a fair assessment of the game?
I think so. I said to Errol before the game, may the best team win, and the best team won. Obviously, it doesn't help when you're gifting goals away like the first one. I think had that not have happened, it may have been a slightly different game. But as I was saying to you boys backstage as well, it's always the same with Villa. We're our own worst enemies. I think the actual tactics I could understand, and I thought they worked relatively well for the first half an hour, 40 minutes or so. But it was our own fault for both of the goals. Martinez just passing it straight to Salah, and Crazy. Then Pau Torres just booting it up to no one, and obviously Gravenberch gets a deflected goal as well, which he can't help. But yeah, it wasn't a good performance at all from us. But it's one of them. You go into Anfield. I know they've not been in great form, and I know I'm going to sound a little bit, I don't know what the word is, but it's always hard to face Liverpool at Anfield. We've not won there since 2014, I think. Felipe Senderos was part of our centre-back partnership that day.
Wow.
And Gabby scored the winner. So yeah, it's been a long time since we've won at Anfield anyway. But yeah, it just wasn't great. It just wasn't great. And like I say, gifting goals away like that just is never going to help you. We just got to bounce back from it now. We've got Maccabi Tel Aviv on Thursday in the Europa League, and then Bournemouth, which is not going to be an easy game at all at the weekend as well. So hopefully we can bounce back with them too. But yeah, like I say, playing against Liverpool at Anfield is just never an easy task.
It's not. It's a very, very tough place to go. But at the moment, Liverpool are a good time to play them, coming off of the back of their losses.
I agree, but you say that, and Gravenberch is all of a sudden fit, and I don't know. It feels to me like Gravenberch seems to be the equivalent to Rodri at Man City with how important he is in that midfield. I don't know what you think of that, Errol, but when Gravenberch is playing, you seem so much better as well.
I think it's more a case of getting Gravenberch to play the same role as he played for us last season. And I think that does go back to what Pot said earlier about stripping the team back to the basics. Obviously, Robertson comes back in, the player I've been screaming to just, at least until we sort out what's going on with Kirkes, just let Robertson be in the team for the majority of the minutes in the games. You know, the last 30 or 20 can take care of themselves because, you know, Kirkers can come on with fresh legs, but we need a little bit more consistency defensively. I think, obviously, Gravenberch going forward, he's tried to use him a little bit further forward this season. Hasn't always worked. We've left a few too many gaps at times, but do you know what? We went back to basics yesterday or the other day, and I can't actually complain for once as a Liverpool fan. I'm sitting here thinking that's more like it. That's more like what I'm used to seeing. Obviously, the goals were gifts, but I don't think anyone can begrudge Liverpool getting a 2-0 scoreline. Like, there's not many games where we've been gifted much so far. It doesn't feel as though we've been gifted much because of the circumstances, and how we've either won every game or ended up losing the game. So it was important to get the win under our belts. Make no mistake about it. We was in the trenches for the whole of October. You know what I mean? If Arsenal had the perfect October in not conceding, Liverpool had an absolute nightmare. And I thought it was going to be a horror show, if I'm being honest. I didn't feel confident, but as you say, Potts, with that lineup, you just hope Liverpool can kind of rediscover, not necessarily the form, but at least rediscover the type of performances, and at least putting in that effort for one another. Because the last couple of weeks, it looks like everybody's been kind of in it for themselves and trying to save the embarrassment personally instead of looking at things as a collective. So, and you know what? One of the last two things I'll say on it, really, from my perspective, was it was obviously good to get the win, so we can now look ahead to a big week. But Slot's name getting shouted a number of times mid-game was like really significant to me, because it was the first time I'd been in Anfield all season, and I was like, raw, it's a completely different like dynamic to what you feel going on in the ground, because we've been up against it versus what you see online. So I think a lot of people just need to chill out a little bit. Like, we still believe that this manager can turn around this season. So as far as I'm concerned, look, it was important that we started November on the right note. But at the end of the day, going forward now, Liverpool have got to start putting a string of games together, and that's the next task for us. So, yeah, Villa gifted it and wrapped it up for us, but we still have to do a job because we've been our own worst enemy at times, and I wasn't prepared to see us shoot ourselves in the foot again, I'll be honest.
I agree. Look, LB, they've got Real Madrid and Manchester City next. It doesn't get any easier for Liverpool. It's probably two of the worst games to want to go into when you're not in the best of form. But I haven't really spoken to you, bro, because obviously you've been away. I hope you had a good time, mate. And we'll come to City in a bit. But what are you saying about this Liverpool side? Do you think they can get back on the kind of wagon, so to speak? Obviously, they've got you guys next in the Premier League. What have you made of them over the last couple of weeks? It's been a bit of a mess, bruv.
Yeah, no, I definitely think they could get back on it, man, 100%. I just think I think they've got the players. I don't think anyone disagrees that they got the players. So can the manager find the right solution? And I think he will. Yeah, he will. I think he will. There's no guarantee, obviously. You know what I mean? I think he'll find the solution. But similar to City, will he find the solution too late? Will Arsenal or maybe City, will one of them two teams be, too far ahead by the time Slot works it out? And right, this is actually the team that's going to win us 10 games in a row in the Premier League. You know what I mean? But if he keeps on dropping points here, there, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to drop that many points in the Premier League before you can't win it. Do you get what I'm saying? This is why people always say,
our margin for error right now is
I hear it. I get it. And it pisses me off earlier when people say, oh, you're being reactionary when you drop points. And it's like, do you know how hard it is to win the league? You can't afford to be dropping that many points before you fucking physically can't win it on a maths thing. So I don't know. I think they'll get us. I think you get it sorted. I think he doesn't fully know how to utilize Wirtz in this system at the moment. And I still believe that it would be with Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. I still think that's the way. I know, McAllister's obviously a top-class player and that. I'm not disputing that. It's not about who's better than who. It's about finding a system. Otherwise, you play like a TK, Salah, Isak, Wirtz. That's not how you win football matches. You've got to find a team. You can't. Slot has to get Wirtz into the team. Yeah, you can't just be benching £120 million fucking attacking midfielder that should be one of the best players in the world.
The one thing I would say to you though is if it means our season's going to be indifferent because he tries to support a square peg in a round hole, that is Wirtz in a system that's not going to work.
No, but that's why I'm saying I think he can make it work.
Yeah, he can, but I'd rather get the basics right now while we're trying to compete. I'd rather we be doing the basics that can push us at least to the level where
But
we're in
then,
the
but then,
conversation.
at what point do you then put Wirtz in the team?
Again, it completely depends on the circumstances. For me, there's a world where you can not necessarily bed him in because he's been here for long enough now. It's not necessarily bedding him in, but I think there's a way where if we're good enough and we're starting to manage games better, where we've got 1 or 2 nil leads in games, I think there's a world where Wirtz gets, because there's plenty of games to play. I still think there's a world where Wirtz gets loads of minutes. Does that mean he's starting every single one of those games? Not necessarily, but if he can be an impact player of sorts while the team are being good, I don't mind that. I am not prepared to lose how good we are, resting it all on his shoulders to try and make us better.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted on what I'm saying. I think the system to get Wirtz in the team and be a good team and win football matches is with Gravenberch and Szoboszlai behind. That's what I'm telling you. That's my opinion. Okay. I'm saying to you, Errol, yeah, I think what he should do is play Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and Wirtz as a midfield 3. That's what I think he should do. Because I think at that point, what you're doing there, you're giving Wirtz a lot of protection defensively. Yeah, we did it in the 4-peat year with Foden. We played Rodri, Kovacic, and then just told Foden to just do his thing. And that's the year he got PFA Player of the Year. That's how I think. I think when you play McAllister, I don't think McAllister gives enough protection to Wirtz on the sort of defensive side because, you know, McAllister likes to play. He's a techie baller. I think that's what he needs. I just don't think you can have Wirtz as this sort of player who you're bringing on.
But then you're putting him in the category that I put him in from the start, even when we signed him. Even though we dropped the bag on him, I said he was always a type of luxury player that I didn't foresee us trying to get this summer. I didn't see us going for a luxury player. But if he is that, you forget we've already got a luxury player that we've signed up for.
I don't think he is a luxury player.
I think the way you're describing him to play in this team with McAllister hasn't given him the defensive stability enough, kind of suggests that he's not going to be doing the intensity going the other way, which means we'd have 2 players in Salah and Wirtz that both want to occupy the final third. And when we haven't got the ball, it means we're an extra man down, especially in that midfield.
But I think maybe that's why I've also said that I'd be playing Ekitike over Isak, yeah, because I think Ekitike is again a better fit for the system. This is the thing for me. It's like whenever I look at Liverpool, and this is before Liverpool even kicked a ball. I never seen Wirtz as the problem. I always thought Isak was the problem. You know what I mean? And you know, rival Liverpool fans would be like, "Oh, you're just jealous that Liverpool are signing Isak." I'm like, nah. You know what I mean? I rate Ekitike very highly, and I still think I looked at a game against Bournemouth, first game of the season, earlier, and I believe that in terms of the way that Salah, Wirtz, and Ekitike linked up in that game, I thought was mint. I was like, fucking hell, that was good. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you had Ekitike dropping in, you had Wirtz spinning in behind him, Salah doing little chip balls over, and I thought, fuck me. And then I just feel that for me, Isak just came and just sort of disrupted everything, and it didn't really look like the team was set up to play with him. And then I look at Salah and Isak, how's that going to work? I don't know. Listen, it's just my opinion, yeah? I just think that for me, Wirtz should be the one that's playing. Slot ain't playing him at the moment. Obviously, he's dropping him for a couple of games. I'd play him with Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. I think that gives Wirtz the freedom. I'd stick him basically next to, whether you want to call him a 10 or what, a second striker, whatever. I'd stick him next to Ekitike, Salah on the right, and Gakpo on the left. And that's how I would run it. And I think as well, that'd probably help you defensively as well, because then you've got Gravenberch and Szoboszlai in midfield, and they're fucking workhorses. So I've not really seen that. You've not played that team, but I think that'd be a solid team, man, for Liverpool. But that's just my opinion, innit? It could be chat shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think with Liverpool, Slot's got an issue that he's got 2 players that he's broken the British transfer on twice in the summer. He doesn't know how to get him in the side. And right now, as much as Isak, you know, we all know has got not fitness and all that kind of stuff and injury issues, Ekitike's been better. Let's have it right. Ekitike's been better than Isak. And I've got to be real. I think all of your midfielders have been better than Wirtz, to be fair. So right now, they just don't get into the side. And it is mad. It is mad to think that. But I kind of feel like it's true. I don't know if you agree with that, Pete. Obviously, you've got like hatred for Isak, but we haven't really seen much of him. But actually, Liverpool as a system right now, they look better. Liverpool just sticking to what they know of old. I thought they looked a little bit, much better than what they have done, trying to force all these new players in. And I think to be fair, I didn't expect it to click with Liverpool. I've got to be honest, Pete, like straight away. But I thought if it did, wow, it'll be scary because they've got the signings there. But I'm kind of hoping, from a selfish point of view, that when they do click, it's far too late and they're miles behind Arsenal. That's all I've got right now, because I feel like Liverpool do still need some time if they want to get these guys into the side. I think Kirkes has been a disaster. Frimpong's hardly been fit. Isak doesn't look like he's going to settle in as quickly as we expected. And Wirtz, I'm really surprised by this one, Pete. I've got to be honest, because I think he's an excellent player. I still rate him. I just don't think he's worked, has it, in the system?
Not at the moment, but I do think LB made a really good point, is that with Isak coming in, I think it's completely disrupted everything in that forward line, because you've got two players that you feel that you have to play and you've got to fit into a system and it's not been settled. I think if Isak hadn't been signed, for example, you've only got one player to settle in there, and I think it's easier to do that with Wirtz without having that distraction of Isak, because Ekitike already seemed like he'd just settled in. At his starting, he looked like he was just settling in as being the guy, and then he was chucked out of the team because Isak was in. And then you've got Wirtz that's not settled quite right just yet. So the front line's been completely unsettled, and I think that's had an effect on the back line, because put more pressure on the back line. The front line's been unsettled, so they're not scoring or up to form and do what they normally do. Put more pressure on the back line, so you full backs and then under immense pressure. Because look, let's face it, if Liverpool are settled in the front line, Liverpool score goals. Liverpool score goals. Forget Isak for a second. Liverpool, if that front line settled, they score goals, and the pressure's not on the back line. So the likes of Kirkes and the likes of Frimpong, you get more of a settled start into the team, because they're winning matches, confidence is high, and regardless if they can see goals here and there, they're settling into the team because they're settling into a winning team. It's easier to settle in to a winning team. A team that's losing games, conceding goals, it's far harder to settle because the finger's being pointed at you. And that's what we're doing right now. We were talking about Kirkes and Frimpong as monster signings this summer. Great bit of business for Liverpool, but now we're all pointing the finger at them because they haven't settled in. And I think the front line issue has been a huge issue for the whole team. I think it's disrupted everything. What I will say is that I always saw, whether Liverpool fans thought this or not, I always saw that with Wirtz coming in was always going to be almost like a bit of a replacement for McAllister. I thought it was going to move McAllister out the team, and maybe that's why McAllister's form has been all over the place this year, because maybe he saw that might be the vision in Wirtz coming in, and I think it's been the same with Isak and Ekitike. And the thing with that is that it's always going to cause disruption, because as what's been said, when you're spending 120, 125 million on those two players, regardless of what we think is the best team and the team that Liverpool should play, there is absolutely pressure in that club to make sure that those two players are on the pitch. There is absolutely pressure, particularly Isak. When you fought that hard all summer to get him into the club, they are going to want him playing. And they've tried to force it. Whether they do that now he's had his injury, whether they go, you know what, Ekitike is our guy, he's going to have to earn his place, which is what I think Liverpool should do. That remains to be seen.
We've got no choice, though. We've got no choice, and it might be a blessing in disguise in that respect, because obviously he is injured. So Ekitike is going to start the games now. We've only got really him. That's the recognised striker up top, so he will start the majority of the games. And we don't know what the final judgment on this injury is going to be. It looks like obviously it's his groin, and you think he's needed an operation for over a year. So if he's already been in need of an operation, it might just be, well, we bite the bullet now and we continue the Ekitike train and see where that takes us. And when you come back, it's about getting you up to full speed and then reintegrating you in. We might just have to take the hit on that, but no, he comes back as our player and we'll get him back up to speed to the level we need him to be at some point. But if Ekitike is doing the job, we might have been forced into that situation. So, and I think, again, the same can be said about Frimpong. Like, you know, we got beat the other night against Palace again. The only real positive as a Liverpool fan I could take away from that was, you know, Calvin Ramsey's still there as a right back. Do you know what I mean? And he looked like as if he could stay fit, he looks like he can actually do a job. Do you know what I mean? He's technically proficient enough to move the ball forward and pass, and has a better touch or looked a little bit more composed the other night than I've seen a couple of the others. So if that means it's just more competitive again to push people on, then Frimpong's got a job on his hands as well when he comes back into the team. So I've not necessarily got a problem with that. I think when we look at it sometimes, what we've done in every position, or at least every area of the pitch, forwards, we've made big changes. Again, the money's been spent. The money's been spent in midfield, and the way that as Liverpool have attacked down the years in terms of our creativity changed with an overhaul in our fullbacks in the summer. So we've still got to figure a way to try and now implement not only new players, but a new way of playing as well at the same time. So I think that's why Slot's at the point where his hand might be forced to just try to keep it as it was for a period of time. Let's not change nothing too drastically right now until results start to pick up, and let's just work with the time that we do have on the training at some of the new ideas. But it's what LB said before, and it's what I've been saying for a number of weeks. If Arsenal do steal a march on us, if it clicks for Liverpool, it's great, but when does it click? And will it be sooner or later? And if it's too late, then we know that the Premier League's probably going to be at stake at that point. But I'm still in it for the bigger picture, which I want Liverpool fans to start tapping into. There's plenty of things to win this season still, even if we went out the Carabao Cup. So we just need to pattern ourselves and fix up and hope that the team can do the same.
Let me ask you a question, Errol, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Back to front, what do you think your best 11 is?
In terms of form or what it is, full stop?
Well, what I think your best team is obviously the midfield that I told you in the attack.
Yeah.
So that's the way I think you should set up. So what do you think is your best team in terms of like actually creating an 11, not just the best players, creating an 11? How would you?
Well, it depends. See, this is the thing. The best team right now is incomplete. Again, it's like there are players that I'd make a team to try and fit and accommodate the players that you're talking about. Where I think if we played 3 at the back and we had another defender that I could hold up to the level of a Mark Gahey, for example, we could play with all of those players that you've mentioned.
The players you've got right now, injuries not been a problem. What would it be?
We've got, and what I'm saying is the players we've got, we could probably play that system and do it well for 1 or 2 games. But let me finish. But that player is probably somebody like Joe Gomez or Andy Robertson, and they're not the type of players that are going to get you wins for 10 games on the bounce playing that system. So we're still having to play the system that we played last season with some of these new players. So to your point, Ekitike up top is the best in the middle for us right now. Isak's not fit enough and can't do the work rate that he does and give us the output for the time being. Ekitike's got to be in there. The midfield, you've got an actual genuine conversation. For me, I think Szoboszlai has worked his way into Slot's plans. I think the way you said it was McAllister, I thought it was Szoboszlai that was going to be the foreman this season. But it's turned out that Szoboszlai's form has eclipsed McAllister's last season's form towards the back end, and you can't really drop him in any position. He's become undroppable to an extent. So he has to be in there. Gravenberch has to be in there. And then it is a toss of a coin between McAllister and Wirtz. The fullbacks at the moment, Robbo has to start all of the games. Obviously, doesn't mean he needs to stay on for 90, but he needs to be doing 60 to 70 in most of the games. Next to Verge, next to Canate, and then the right back, when he's fit, I'm still probably going to give it to Conor Bradley just because that's a continuity of a back four that played and won us the league last season. Bradley had to change for Trent a number of times, so they've all played with each other, all started games with each other. And in the goal, obviously, I'd have Alisson. That's literally how I would set it up. And we'd manage games going forward with the new players. Isak coming back from injury, Frimpong coming back from injury, and Kerkez giving the minutes to Robbo's legs as and when we're needed, when we're in commanding positions. That's how I would want to see us more often than not in the Prem anyway. Champions League, I think Wirtz. I'd have McAllister Prem, Wirtz Champions League, just because McAllister Prem's done it last season. Wirtz Champions League is an unknown quantity. That's honestly how I would view it going forward.
Cool. What are you saying quickly, LB, about this the weekend? And obviously we'll come into City in a minute, but like facing Liverpool, are you thinking that's a shame that they beat Villa? They looked good, or are you thinking nothing's changed? Like
I don't look at when you play these games between like the top 10, I don't really think like form comes that much into it. Obviously it does to a degree, but I don't think Liverpool beating Villa, or even if they would have lost against Villa, makes a slight bit of difference personally about the game coming up at the weekend. Errol can disagree if he wants, but that's my opinion. I just think that these games are like, I don't know, man. I don't sort of think it's got anything to do with it. So
Can I say something there quick as well? Someone's laughing in the comments saying that we've wasted all of our money these summer signings. Yeah, like you forget, not every summer signing yet we'd ideally think that they're going to push the team on, But in reality, we've added squad depth, whether we like it or not. And right now doesn't mean we're able to utilise them all. But we're not just here for one season with these players. These players are part of a long-term plan. So if they come good in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, if we've got trophy to show for it and silverware to show for it, it doesn't really matter. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, that's fair, man. That's fair. Look, let's not get away from the fact that Villa lost. Obviously, last few games they've been really good, I thought, but the last game they weren't good. Bill, are you worried, Billy, at all from anything that you see there, or is this just this Anfield? It's tough. We move because let's be real. I look at the Villa defensively, brother. I just don't rate it. I'm sorry, like I don't rate it. I think you can upgrade on it so much. Like I think Konza's a very good player, as you mentioned previously. I don't think Pau Torres is good. I don't think he's good enough. He's all right, but he ain't good enough in my opinion. Matty Cash, I know he's got better in the last couple of games, but I can't really believe he's still your right back, to be fair. And then at left back, you've obviously got Luca Dean, who's not a bad player. Martinez, I rate, but what was he doing at the weekend? It was a mess from him, in my opinion. And that's why I can't have Villa like any higher than where I put them. And I put you respectfully in 7th. I can't have you pushing like much higher than that because I just think Villa get let down defensively. And I don't think there's anything you've done in the summer to change my mind on that, Bill. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, defence is definitely where we struggle the most, I would say. Konza, you all know my thoughts on Ezri Konza. Martinez hasn't been the Martinez that we've seen previously in the past season or so. What I will say is that he very rarely makes mistakes like that, though. So I'm just putting that down as a one-off. Mistakes happen. Forget it. Let's move on. Torres, I understand what you're saying. I hear it, but he's the best of what we've got at the minute. Is there an upgrade out there? Yes, probably. But he's also Emery's man. He's played with him more times than anyone else. He was the first player that he rang up when he moved to Villa, wanted to sign him, signed him in his first summer. And yeah, the fullback's Luca Dean. What I'll say about Luca Dean is whenever you think that he can't improve, somehow he manages to do it. Yes, he was poor at the weekend, but overall, he's still been a very, very, very good left back for us. And Matty Cash, in fairness to him, I've been a big, big critic of Matty Cash over the years, but this season he's probably been our best player. Just consistency, and he's consistently been our best player and always puts 100% in as well. So when you've got no one else to come in for him as well, having a player like that put in as much effort as he does is something that a lot of fans really appreciate. And he's reaping the rewards from it as well this season. And he's just signed a new contract as well. So yeah, it's not the best. It can be improved on. But this game for me is just, it's Anfield. Losses happen. Let's just move on. Put it behind us. There's nothing overly worrying in that loss for me. It's not like we got romped 6-7-8-0. It was a loss, a deflected goal, a goal that came from an awful mistake. That's it. Put it behind us. Move on.
I was shocked. I was shocked that you didn't start going long though, Billy. You had a couple of warnings with that. Do you know what I mean? I was fuming at Szoboszlai, didn't bury one about 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, he continued to play out from the back, and I think Liverpool just started to set up for you.
It's high risk, high reward, isn't it? We saw it happen when Rodgers.
Emery's normally cleverer than that, though. He's normally a bit more switched on sometimes, but
yeah, I know what you're saying, but it's the way that we've played since he came in as well, though. I mean, even when we didn't have the players to play that system, we had Konza and Mings at the back, just come in, and everyone is in the crowd is a nervous wreck. Jesus Christ, Mings playing out from the back. What is going on here? He persisted with it. I know in certain games, obviously, he changed that tactically, but I think we saw glimpses of things working, particularly in those first 40 minutes or so. Rodgers getting the ball in acres of space and being able to run at the defense is an example of that. And I think it was just a case of high risk, high reward. And the goal coming when it did so close to halftime just knocked the stuffing out of us. And then you get a deflected goal soon after as well in the second half. That was
something we
just,
haven't
it
done
was
as
just
well. All season, we haven't done that. We haven't scored like two quick kind of goals in terms of important goals at all important times of the match. Like everything's either been we've opened and then not really done much, or we've left too late and it feels like you're going for a winner. So it was nice to actually be able to just have the game sewn up and try and manage it a little bit. But
yeah, and I think as soon as that second goal went in, it was game over. Heads dropped a little bit, and yeah, we maybe had a couple of chances.
What do you make of Sancho at the minute, Bill? What do you make of Sancho at the minute?
I like him, to be honest with you. From what I've seen, there's no reason to dislike him. I think he's come in, he's working, and I think when he gets his opportunity, he needs to take it, which for me so far he kind of has done. Yes, he's been a little bit disappointed at times, turning into players and things like that. But I think that just comes as a natural when you've got a technical winger that likes to use his skills and stuff like that. That can happen. Do you know what I mean? So it's just about giving him a little bit of confidence, giving him minutes, and I trust that it'll be a crucial part of the squad come the end of the season. Same with Harvey Elliott as well, by the way. He's not played much. Obviously, he couldn't play at the weekend because it was his parent club.
Well,
he's still technically on loan.
Is Buendia injured?
Is who, sorry?
Buendia injured?
Buendia is injured, yeah. He came off the game before.
He might get a few more minutes now then.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, it's just the case of, for Harvey Elliott, for me, it's just the case of him being patient. He's come in, he's grown up in a Liverpool Jurgen Klopp system that is full on press, whereas Emery is take your time, polar opposites. Harvey Elliott's a fantastic player, fantastic technical player. We've seen that when he's been with England. But for what Emery needs, you just need to be patient. And we've seen it work with Yuri Tielemans. When he came in, he took a long time to get him regularly starting. And I think that's just the same case with Harvey Elliott as well. The thing is, we've not been winning games by 2-3 goals. So there's not really been an opportunity for him to come in and experiment, if you know what I mean, with him. We've always needed to make a sub for the better of the team. And when you've got someone coming in that's not 100% into that system yet, it's always going to be hard for him. But when he has played, he's played well. But I think there's just little bits that Emery wants to focus on for him, if you know what I mean. But I fully believe that it'll absolutely come good and be a very important part of our season and our future as well. He just needs to be patient, which I think he will be. A lot of noise. There's a lot of noise around him at the minute, but he just needs to be patient, and I think he will be. And that noise, I think, is more coming from the media than it is him, his camp, or anything like that.
I heard that.
I don't think there's any need to panic, man. Like, people lose at Anfield. We lost at Anfield this season as well. So it is what it is, man. But I think under Emery, I think he will get it right. I just don't know where. Absolutely. I can't put Villa much higher than where I've got them potentially. But maybe they'll be happy with that if they go on a cup run in the Europa League as well, man. But
where have you got Villa, Dan?
I'll go him in 7th.
You're too polite.
Where have you got him?
Look, I'm not gonna lie, man. I think I've been on this channel for about 18 months. I've never been rude to Billy, partly because he's a nice bloke. But that last segment was some of the biggest wobble of crap I've ever heard in my life. Billy, I don't know what planet you're on, and this is why you have beef with Dan United. Your team has been rubbish this season. Let's be real. Last week, when you beat Spurs, you beat a pathetic Spurs team. You only had 2 shots on goal. There was no way in hell that Villa was going to get a result against Liverpool. Never in hell. So he's not getting it right. Bruv, it's disjointed. That Aston Villa team, I'll be surprised if that team finishes top 10. let's be real. And I don't know why no one else has picked up on it. Players that were playing well under Unai when he came are now playing worse. Pau Torres is worse than when he first came. Do you get what I'm saying?
Let's see where we both finish at the end of the season, Dej. Let's see where we both finish at the end of the season.
That is
Then you can talk. Then you can talk.
That is a sign that it's about to hit the fan, and sooner or later we're going to start hearing Aston Villa fans murmuring Unai out. I know you like him because you got to a Champions League quarter final, but the wheels are already starting to turn. It ain't looking good for Villa because for me, Villa should be fighting for top 6 if you're legitimate. Anything lower,
we will be.
Anything lower than top 6 is rubbish, and I can't see Villa at the moment finishing in. I can't see. For me, I got Villa around.
Dej, can you see Spurs at the moment finishing top 6?
Let me quickly ask this, and this is not about me. I want to get onto the City game.
Conveniently, eh?
Under Frank, it's difficult to see. I won't lie. But what I can see is that Spurs will finish above Villa this season. That one is guaranteed. You guys are whack.
Let's wait and see for that to happen, mate. Because it's been a good few years since you finished above us, so let's wait for that to happen.
I didn't get to speak to Dej last night about the game, but two people on the panel that Deji seems to like to come for when they drop points. Got 3 points this week, so I think it's only fair that Errol and LB get to have a little bit of a chat about Spurs because when Liverpool lose, Deji goes in on them. Let's be real, Manchester City, Deji just seems to think they're finished, and Pep's it's the end of the road, as Boys to Men once sung. So LB, I'll let you start, and then
at least my players actually speak to my manager and don't just ignore him. Just a minute, do you know what I mean? Your manager's so pathetic that your players don't even want to speak to him after the game.
Zero aura, baby.
Bro, they just walked past him and was like, I ain't speaking to you, mate. I ain't speaking to you. What are you going to do? Yeah, you got serious problems, mate. Yeah, you spent £1 billion on a fortress. Yeah, you can't even win in your fortress, bro. It's a shambles, mate. Yeah, it's an absolute shambles. Yeah, your front line is whack. Yeah, your players are mad overrated. Yeah, and you're just a dusty club, bro. Yeah, you like to throw out the word dusty. Well, I think your club's dusty, mate. I think it's a dusty club. Yeah, that's what it is. And I know you're not going nowhere. Because the thing is, yeah, the problem with Spurs is, right, they shop in the one below, like the City and the Liverpool and the Arsenal. So they always end up with the Xavi Simons, the Matthias Tells of the world, a.k.a. players that can't make it at the better clubs. And there's a reason why they can't make it at the better clubs, because they ain't that great, bro. Yeah, Solankis, Brennan Johnsons, these type of guys. And then one couple of years, they get a sick player, and you do now and again, but then they want to leave and you sell them, like Modric's and Bales and Kane's.
Ericsson's.
Ericsson, because they don't want to be there, bro. And, Bergvall, I think Bergvall's a good player. He'll probably be the next one sold in a couple of years because he'll want to go and win stuff. And play for a team that actually competes.
LB, remember you told us Vicario was one of the best goalkeepers in the league? Do you remember that?
It's so easy to please, bro. I mean, you speak to Spurs fans, yeah? They say the best period in their club history was under Poch. They didn't win anything. They didn't fucking win anything. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just one of them. Funny club, man. Yeah, they're a bit annoying at times, you know what I mean? Because they do turn up now and again and beat you or whatever. And, they beat us a few times, but fundamentally.
2 times, bro, we slap you up, mate. We enjoy playing.
Yeah, that's cool. But do you know how many trophies City have won since you moved into your fortress?
No.
19.
15? 19? Wow.
19.
I got it to Grok anyway. Yeah. So that's a bit of a madness, bro. I can't lie. Yeah. So while you're there spending £1 billion on having a nice stadium and that, which it is, yeah, we're out there winning trophies. Do you know what I mean? So you just keep doing what you're doing, bro. You know what I mean? It's what it is, man.
You know what's funny as well, though, Errol? Do you know what's funny? Before you come in, just quickly, Errol, right? The stat that I couldn't believe today that actually is true. Arsenal have lost 6 more games at their stadium than Spurs, and we've been in it 20 years. They've been in theirs for 5. That is absolutely embarrassing if you're a Spurs fan.
I thought that was fake news, Dej. I thought that was fake news.
It's fake news, man.
Wow.
It's actually not fake.
Oh,
either.
Is that confirmed? Is that
True. It's true. It's true.
Wow.
Fortress.
It's a
5
fortress,
years.
that new stadium they bought. Sorry, Earl, I interrupted you. Go on.
No, I'm glad you did. I really am glad you did, because that just puts into context exactly everything that LB's just said and what I was about to say, to be honest with you, because just like his team, Deji's only here for the entertainment value, because we just get to laugh. We just get to laugh, yo. This shit is pure jokes. Like, some of us are out here actually about this life. Deji's a parody in the same way as football teams are parody, because they're not serious. They're not serious, bro. And I could break it down, like, you know, and try and come at it from, you know, with the, if I could do all of that business and deep it with you, you know what I'm saying? But look, Spurs have been getting away with it for too long. Your PR machine is better than Arsenal's, because you tricked everybody to make a top 6. Before that, it was just the top 4. You have managed to hoodwink the wider football fan base to think that Spurs as a team are more serious than they are. And every single season, without fail, irrespective of the manager, you always show your true colours sooner or later. And that is the reality. Do you get me? So you can come on here and play the pantomime villain from time to time and come in here and crash it from time to time. But the reality is, it's all for bants. And your team on the pitch is all for bants, because they don't have the minerals. And you as a Spurs fan know that more than anybody else. So right now, keep doing what you're doing, bro. And I promise you, Spurs will keep doing what they're doing. And it'll be a match made in heaven. You could have never been a spicy Tottenham fan. You would have been far too emotional. Do you get me? But Spurs and you are like this. Yin and yang.
It ain't ever going to change, Errol, until the club start paying top dollar for the top players.
Facts.
And the only way to do that is by giving the players a lot of money. Yeah, a lot more money than everybody else. And that's what City had to do when we got bought. Yeah, the only way we got the top players was by paying them more money than everybody else. But Spurs don't want to do that. So Spurs keep on buying these players like the Tells, yeah, like the Xavi Simons, like the fucking Solankis and that, because they're not prepared to pay the top dollar. And Spurs have the money. We're constantly told Spurs have got the money. So don't make this about the money. They got the money. Yeah, they're the best run club in England, apparently. They don't want to.
We got the
owners
lowest,
don't want to spend
wage to income ratio.
Exactly, that's your problem. Yeah, until you actually start paying big wages, you won't get the best players, and until you get the best players, you won't win serious titles and be consistent.
I don't think they want to. No, Deji, real talk. Yous are happy just taking part in it. Like, that's not even like to throw any.
He just wants to be on Race for Europe, innit? Basically, that is basically what it is. He's just happy of turning up on a Monday night, man.
So can I have an opportunity to respond? So I understand that we've had several clashes, and although I took it as banter, it's clear from the way that you guys are trying to cook me this evening that it's personal. I want to give a public warning now. It's personal for me, LB. The next time your team drops points, you're done. Just know that. I'm fully rattled.
I'll roll on next week. It's going to be one of these.
I'm fully rattled. You really pissed me off. Right? Well, I'm going to take
deflection tactics. Talk about your team. Talk about your team. It's not about you. It's bigger than you.
Let me tell you about my club.
Yeah, you tell me.
I've already been Frank out, because you need to be turning up against your rivals. If you don't turn up against your rivals, win, lose or draw, yeah, then there's a problem. You get what I'm saying? And the fact that we were pathetic on the weekend, the real reason why Frank has to go, we got 0.05 XG. And I did the maths. I didn't need any bloody journalist. I didn't need a commentator to tell me what that meant. But I will tell you what that meant. To get 0.05 XG, you just had to step on the pitch. That was it. Step on the pitch, you get 0.05, which means you can't get any lower. So I take what LB is saying, I take what Errol's saying, and I take it on the chin. However, I will say this. What I'm asking for isn't difficult. If you look at the Villa game, real talk, we should have beaten Villa. Wolves, we should have beaten Wolves. Brighton, we should have beaten Brighton. We were pathetic against Chelsea. We were pathetic against Bournemouth. And that's why, for me, it's not good. But you are right. The one thing that I will say, though, is Daniel Levy has gone and our owners have said they're going to spend. We don't know what that means as Spurs fans. But that's why I'm giving you a public warning. Should Tottenham pull out the checkbook and do the business they need to do in Jan, it is long for everybody on this panel. For me, Tottenham need to spend a minimum of 200 mil in Jan. We need a new goalkeeper. We need a striker. We need Semenyo. And we need a proper 8. Someone get those 4 positions sorted and Tottenham can look to build and cook. But you're right. Under what we've had before, it opens us up for naff, because that's the only way I can describe that performance on the weekend. Naff performances like the one that we saw. And all Thomas Frank had to do was drop the high line. That was it. Drop the high line and stink out the place and get the odd goal here and there. And it's not work for me. It's not good enough. So right now, keep shaking your bums. Pause.
Is Frank on fraud watch?
He is. Look,
Okay.
Let me tell you why he's on fraud.
Can you put yourself on that list as well? Do you have the permissions and logins to put yourself on that list as well?
Errol, look, I'm not going to lie, yeah? One thing I've never attributed towards you was to be shameless. You're not gonna shake your bum because you beat Villa. Villa's crap.
No. This isn't about beating Villa. This is because I'm the Premier League champion, my dog. My team is serious.
Yeah, but you're the Premier League champion because everyone was crap.
No.
We've had this conversation a million times. You were the Premier League champion because everyone's crap.
You was hella dusty last season.
You were the best of a dusty bunch.
But you was the dustiest.
Win now.
You were the last man standing in last year's league. You was the last one.
Yeah, but we know that for Spurs, that was a freak season. Just like you winning the league was a freak season, bro. It happens.
How when we've won the league title more than any other team.
But look, we can go back. We can go back to back and forth. I'm just saying,
but you're never going to win. Like Spurs.
You embed your bedroom, LB. Make sure you can back this talk.
Well, it was always City pool. It was never, City Spare.
Do you think Liverpool's back?
It was always City
Liverpool's back?
What are we doing?
Do you think Liverpool's back now?
I'm just saying it was always City.
Are you back? No, but are you back? Are you back?
Back from where? We never left. We're Premier League title holders, nigga. Come on.
So what are you? Can you? All right. Let me.
Either way, bro.
Are you going to be able to defend your title? Are you going to be able to defend your title?
Nice over these sides.
Can you defend your title?
What do you mean? Can we defend our title?
Will you defend your title this season?
Why are you moving the goalposts? Why are you changing
I just want to know.
You just want to get one lick in, don't you? Go on. I'll give you a little. You want to hit me right? Go on. Hit me.
LB, are you back?
Edge, I've got a question for you.
Yeah,
I've got a question for you. You seem to be preparing yourself next week for an almighty cooking of one of Errol or LB or both if they draw. Are you beating Man United to prevent Dan United coming on here and giving you an almighty cooking?
Great question.
The answer is, if we don't, Frank has to go.
At Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as well, by the way.
Bro, I'll be real, bro.
You don't win there. You don't win there.
Under Thomas Frank, I can't see it happening. If we lose to arguably one of the dustiest teams I've ever seen in my life, so dusty that Dan United can't be on this show, and rightly so, by my ad, then Frank, I mean, I don't know what else to do. I mean, first of all, I will go missing for a couple of days just to recalibrate. But yeah, Tottenham should be beating United. They were our whipping boys last season. I expect to slap them up again. But under Thomas Frank, with the way he sets up the team and his obsession with little Bow Wow, it's pissing me off. Do you know what I mean?
Can we talk Xavi Simons as well? I know LB briefly touched on it, but we was told that this guy was able to let it all work out and all them things. Nobody else remembered that? Or are we just going to forget about let it all work out?
Oh, we're not forgetting it. We're not forgetting it.
No, for me, I'm gonna disclose my age here. Look, little Bow Wow needs to go fitness first, man. And it ain't an overnight thing. Yeah, he needs to go to the gym, 3-4 months in the gym, get a bit of muscle, and then come back. So for me, I don't expect to see Xavi Simons until March. And I don't want to see him until March, personally, because he's not got the muscles in his body to do anything right now. And Pat Sarr should be playing there. And this is the problem. He keeps playing people that we know aren't ready, and then he's scratching his head as to why the results are so poor. It's poor because you're playing whack players. And I legitimately think when they brought in Isak, there's a thing in the contract saying he has to play. That's why they're being played. Xavi Simons came in as a 10 and he has to play. But really and truly, they shouldn't have to play, because if you bring them in and you see that it ain't working, then don't play them. I've got little Bow Wow doing yippee-yi-yo, where's my dogs at? I don't bloody know. Where are they at, bro? Because you ain't doing nothing on that pitch.
He ain't got enough protection, Deji. He ain't got enough protection. I said it to you boys in the chat the other day, and I mean it. Like I watched him at St James's Park. He got bullied by Tonali, but he's not got anyone around him to protect him. He ain't got anyone around him to be that muscle. You're saying he hasn't got the muscle, but some of your other midfielders ain't got the muscle either. Huh?
Pete, saying he needs a chaperone.
Well, look, when you're a team, wow, right, and you've got a star player, and he was bought to be a star player, then you've got to have the players around him to allow him to shine. You do, and unfortunately, he's been literally dropped into that team and expected to shine without the players around him.
We should phone social services.
That's not me protecting him.
We should phone social services, Pete. We should phone social services. What they're doing to him is unacceptable.
It's embarrassing, but like, so something's going to have to happen. He's going to have to be dropped at some point, because if he keeps dropping clangers like that, it's that value is going to come down.
It's more than, you're right. He needs to be protected. For me, he shouldn't come. He shouldn't step on a Premier League pitch until March. Give him a good 3-4 months to get in the gym, 7 days a week, work out, hench up, get some muscle, get some biceps, and then come back on the field. Until then, man, I don't want to see this guy. And that, as a manager, your job is to make sure that your players look good. Your job is to enhance their strengths. We're not enhancing Xavi Simons' strengths. We are exposing this guy week after week, time after time.
Where do you finish this season, Dej? Where do you finish this season, and what do you finish the season with?
So did you
get beaten? Only Liverpool and Arsenal apparently.
I was
finishing above.
I wasn't paying attention because my team was getting beat. So did you go for last week?
I'll be honest with you. If Thomas Frank can just do the right thing, which I think is Richarlison on the left, Mawani, Kudus. It's not great, or Solanke. It's not fantastic, but it will work. I think Pap Sarr's got to play the 10. We need legs in that midfield. Yeah, Bergvall, Polina. We can work with it. The back 4 or back 5 ain't too bad. We can work with it. It's not pretty. We can stink out the place and get the 1-0s here and there, and I'll take that. But if he keeps trying to be creative with this dusty squad, then Tottenham can't finish any higher than 8th. But if he stinks out the place and puts the players in the right position, hold until Dan, we can get top 4.
Is that not a great result for Spurs, though? You finished 17th last year.
No, bro. Don't do that.
17th to 8th is a remarkable
achievement. It's not. That's the lies that you're going to allow these people to tell.
That's not a lie. That's a fact.
It's a fact, but it was
finished 17th last year. That is a fact.
It was because of we finished 17th because of Ange.
Did you win the Europa League because of Ange?
17th.
Did you win the Europa League because of Ange?
Yes.
Right. So basically, you had a manager who done a great job at getting a relegation threatened side to win the Europa League. If anything, you should have a statue outside the stadium. Yet you sacked him. And now you're telling me going from 17th to 8th is what it was being.
You can't be given a statue to the person who put us in the relegation zone in the first place. That don't make no sense.
But what about if the team was actually like just not that good and he done a madness?
Well, it's the same thing we got now. It's the same thing we got now. The reason why I pause is I think of that Tottenham team and it isn't that good.
It's not good, bro. It's not good, which is why I'm saying if you finish 8th, bro, like might not even that might be decent, bro.
That's absolutely brilliant.
I think
so
I
8th with no trophy. 8th with no trophy is what you were saying, Dej.
Yeah, 8th with no trophy under Frank. But the thing is, I would say this. I think even if Frank gets 2-3 seasons at Spurs, 6th is the highest he could do for my club. So for me, if I'm thinking the highest he can do is 6th,
So
Why
where do
waste-
you go?
Why
Again,
waste time?
Where should that team finish though? Like LB's just said, where should that team finish? Because look, I put you in sixth ahead of Villa, who I put in seventh, because I thought you'd be hard to beat and Frank could get you well drilled. But I've got to be
Exactly.
honest with you, bro. I don't know that it's looking too good for you. Like,
Say
don't get me
that
wrong,
again.
you win,
You
you go
fought on the
second,
fence.
you lose, and you don't, right? But I just don't look at Tottenham. That front line is crap. Let's have it right. That front line is just
It is
crap.
awful. Awful.
Kudus is the only one I rated it. That Xavi Simons is a good player, but he ain't sorting out in this system like Pete's been saying. You've obviously got bloody Richarlison. He is absolutely stinky. Odegaard is stinky. I don't think Solanke's great. Some people do, but he ain't for me. Who else have I missed? Brennan Johnson, absolute mess. Yeah, let's just be real. I just don't think Tottenham are
It's
gonna.
It's players that none of the top teams want. So Spurs go and get them.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't win anything, because that's not how you got to go by the better players, man. But no one wanted to buy Brennan Johnson. No one wanted to buy Solanke. No one wanted to buy these guys. Yeah, so they're there, and Spurs go, oh well, we'll buy them then. But there's a reason. But then that's why Spurs are always finishing like fifth and sixth and that, because they don't buy the better players.
And no serious manager wants to manage them anyway, really. Not no more.
Facts.
Brentford reject, someone's put. Anyone
I
remember
just don't
that?
know. I don't actually know what Spurs' purpose is at the moment. Like, what
I
are
told
they
you,
actually?
entertainment value. That is it.
But they
bro.
don't even play great football.
Performances.
No,
Our
but this is
performances
great.
no.
I enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Arsenal fans love it. Arsenal.
Oh yeah, no,
need it.
I agree with you, Errol. But we're not Spurs fans, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm asking, like, what are the Spurs fans get out of this? I get what we get out of it. We get to cook Deji, innit? But what? Look at Deji, bro. Look at him, man.
I don't think Deji actually.
Look, notice how he's got no trophies on his back wall, bro. He's got nothing there. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know, even Wolfie's got the 2 stars and Champions Leagues and that. This guy's got a plant pot and a football. Bro, you should just have my background, didn't it? What's going on, man?
Oh, Deji.
Honestly, I'm gonna play. Just so you know, when I'm going for my little jog, I'm gonna have this show on repeat. Know that, yeah.
Hey, make sure you tweet this one as well.
everything.
Make
You
sure you
know.
tweet this one. A Liverpool fan and a City fan cooked me. Remember that, yeah? Make sure that goes out.
Yeah, man, I did see that. That was actually quite funny, man. But look, let's before we come to Arsenal and City to wrap up, we've got to ask Pete what the hell happened yesterday. How you could lose to one of the dustiest teams in the league is absolutely beyond me. And I will say, again, maybe I was too kind to these teams. I put Newcastle in 5th with my prediction. Right now, they ain't doing me any favors, man, with my prediction table. Let me tell you that. I don't know. I've spoken to a couple of Newcastle fans who have said, no, starting to worry about Eddie Howe. Like, is he taking as far as he can away from home? It's not looking good, rah, rah, rah. And I said to them, like, let's just calm. But I don't know if that's me just not being emotional into Newcastle. Maybe it is a little bit deeper than that. But I thought you were bad, Pete, yesterday, bro. I can't lie. West Ham were all right. But what's going on with you boys? It's a little bit inconsistent at times, man. I think you're quite the 12th at the moment or whatever it is in the league. So what are you saying to me, bro? What's happening?
Yeah, the league's been inconsistent for us this season. I mean, look, going into that game on Sunday, we'd won 5 out of 6. So it hasn't been that inconsistent in terms of results. But that was the worst performance I've seen from Newcastle United in a long time, right? And Eddie Howe's already made that clear. Like, he was not happy after that. You only have to look at the subs that he made at halftime. Okay, he takes off Anthony Gordon in particular. He never should have started Nick Voltemade because he's played the last 10 games. He looked shattered after that game on Wednesday. He shouldn't have played. But the problem is we haven't got another striker. But the fact that he made those changes at halftime told me everything I needed to see. It was poor. It was shocking. I was absolutely fuming at what I saw. The attitude of the players, the body language was just shocking. And you know what the frustrating thing about it all is that we weren't 1-0 up. We actually took the lead, so we were in the driving seat. But we have a knack this season, and I've said it quite a few times now, we have a knack this season. We don't know how to play 1-0 up. We can play at 0-0. We can play at 1-0 down. We can play at 2-0. But we can't play at 1-0. For some reason, we have this knack of going 1-0 up and just sitting back and just allowing teams to come on to us. Some people say West Ham played good. I thought West Ham weren't great at all. In fact, I thought they were shit. It was just the fact that we were worse. We absolutely dropped a bomb on that. It's
probably good for West Ham's level, though, Pete, to be fair to them, because they've been so bad. That was probably good for them.
Yeah, you know I mean? Look, for me, it doesn't make any difference for West Ham. West Ham will go and play their next game and probably get slapped again. And it will tell you where their level is. Like, for me, it was about that performance and that result on Sunday was more about Newcastle United than it was West Ham. We were not good.
Who's got Champions League this week, Pete?
We're at home to Bilbao. But you know what, Errol? You know what, Errol? Like, I need to make this clear. I don't care about Bilbao. We'll probably turn up on Wednesday and we'll probably win and we'll probably play really well. This is not. That's not the issue. My issue is as
no, I didn't think it was. I'm not trying to go too far the other way. Someone said before, Newcastle fans are losing the shit. I'm just thinking, is he trying to balance weekend, midweek? And I just wanted to know who he's at this week if there was a significant game on. But if you don't think Bilbao,
is it the away? Is it just the away form though, Pete? People keep talking about this away form. Eddie Howe's rubbish away from home. All that. Is that something I've never noticed it before? Is that actually true? Is that something?
The last time we won away was in April against Leicester. I was there. Right? Wow. That's the last time we won away. Our away form is shocking. But this isn't the first time away form has been shocking. It's been an issue for a while. Like we go on a run. So we had that run around Christmas time in the turn of 2025 where we were beating teams. Went to Man U, went to Tottenham, went to a couple of other teams and was winning, Ipswich. But they're all teams that were like they were teams that you kind of expected to beat in that moment. Spurs weren't having a good season. Man United weren't having a good season. Ipswich were dog. Like, they're teams you'd expect to go and win away. Like, they were. And that's the reality. But the problem for us is that we go away from home and we play so different to how we are at home. We have our home comforts. And there's certain players that are being called. Like, for me, it isn't a discussion right now on the manager. The manager put out a team that was still good enough to beat West Ham on Sunday. That performance was down to the players. The players at 1-0, 4 minutes in, we were 1-0 up. The players down tools. It switched off. There was no press. We had Voltemade in that first half that was pressing 3 men on his own. That's not the Newcastle way. That's not what Eddie Howe sets his team up for. Where's the Bruno press? Where's the Joe Linton press? Where's the Gordon press? And this is why some of these players are getting called out. And in particular, Anthony Gordon's getting called out, and rightly so. How many times have I said, Potts, in the last year about Anthony Gordon? How many times have I've called this guy time and time again. This guy reminds me so much of Michael Owen when he was at Newcastle United, because all he does is just turn up just to get in the England squad. He'll turn up and put a performance in. So he played well against Benfica. He was the best player on the pitch. He got man of the match. Great. That's him. Like, yeah, England. I'm in the next squad. I can down tools. So he don't bother turning up. He didn't play against Spurs in midweek. He has got no excuse of being tired. He'd been rested. He came on for like last 10 minutes, and then he starts against West Ham. And I'm glad he got dragged at half time because I was calling for it. He was absolutely dog. He turned up, right, and within 5 minutes, and I called it. I said to my boys in the chat, I said, after 5 minutes, he absolutely shat the bed against Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He didn't want the fight. He didn't want it. He did not want it. He looked at it. He never went to take him on once. He never went down that side. Everything was all predictable. Take the ball inside, pass it into my midfielder, job done. He didn't want to do what he was doing to Benfica, running them down the line, whipping balls in, going at his man, trying to beat him. He was absolutely a disgrace. And I've been calling it for weeks, months now, going on past a year, that Anthony Gordon, since his first full season at Newcastle United, has been absolutely shocking. And I get Newcastle fans for saying that. I've got absolute pelters, but people are now starting to wake up. He is not that guy. He is so inconsistent, and he'll continue to be. And I tell you what, if Liverpool want to go out there and pay that money to bring him and take him, if Arsenal want to go out there and pay that money, hey, he's gone. Like, I'm not mad at that.
Wasn't that last summer?
What?
That situation where there was the money on the table for him, or there could have been the money on the table for him, 65, 70 mil.
That was the PSR situation. My
point is, he wanted to go, and you could have sold him last year. You kept hold of someone that doesn't really want to be there, so he's only going to play for his own interests instead of the club's interests. Or
at that
he
point,
could be perceived that way anyway.
We would have never expected him after the season he had. Of course, Newcastle would have wanted to keep him. He was unreal at the end of that last season, going into last summer.
But you said that he's got a self-interest. So was there not a play to, I want to play for me move? And then he didn't get it. He got more money. And now his own eye set on, well, I want to play for England. I want to make sure I'm in the England squad.
And if that's the case, and I've called for it, Eddie Howe needs him dropped. I need Anthony Gordon dropped from this team. I need Harvey Barnes starting on Wednesday. I need Harvey Barnes starting against Brentford next week. I do not want Anthony Gordon in this team when he's putting in stinking performances like that. I don't want him in the team. He needs to know that he can't just waltz back into this team. Let's not forget, right, before the Carabao Cup final, he absolutely dropped his pants and got that red card against Brighton and missed out on the Carabao Cup final. So he gets dropped for that, and then starts pulling all the toys out the pram when he is fit and available again, because Harvey Barnes is in the team and scoring goals and playing well, and he can't get back in the team. Eddie Howe then goes out of his way to break up that mould at the back end of last season that was playing well with Barnes. There was Livramento, there was Joe Linton down that side that were tearing teams apart. And he then goes and upheavals that, puts Gordon back in the team, and it all falls apart again. Right? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of him just being a one-man team. I've called him so many times this season for him playing for himself. When you've got a guy like Jacob Murphy that plays for his striker, he goes out wide, he whips balls in, he creates opportunities for his striker, and then you've got Gordon, and you can see Nick Walter maybe, you can see it. You don't know whether Gordon's going to cross the ball, whether he's going to cut back inside. He can't make runs if he doesn't know that his guy's going to give him the ball, because Gordon plays for himself. He's done it time and time again for a year now, and I'm sick of it. He needs to get out. He needs to get out.
Let me ask you a question, bro. Yeah. So in the summer, I remember me and Potsy having a bit of a conversation about some of the players you signed right in the summer, and like you obviously bought Alanga, which I don't really think was a great signing, to be honest with you. You bought Ramsey for 40-odd million as well, and you bought Visser for some decent cash. Looking back at those signings now, that's a fair. That's about 150 million on those three players. Are they really good signings? I don't think they are good signings.
So who are the three you're referring to? Alanga,
Ramsey, and Visser.
Yeah.
So I look at those three players, bro, because like the thing is for me, I just going back to like the Spurs thing, yeah, and obviously Newcastle. Newcastle come off that season, yeah, obviously get back in Champions League, winning a trophy. I'm looking at players that can move the needle. Now I like Jacob Murphy. And you know I like him. I spoke about him a lot. I can't believe sometimes I watch this guy, I'm like, this fucking guy's performances are unreal. But then you went and spent 50-odd million on Alanga. Was Alanga even definitely better than Murphy? Like, I don't think it was. I don't think Alanga's a definitely better player than Murphy. That's a lot of money to pay. Did you get me? I just look at that. I just look at that money you've spent there, at 150 million, and I think Newcastle have been waiting so long to spend this money because of the PSR. You've then got to spend 150 million on these players, and I'm like, I don't think these are good signings.
LB, I think it's harsh. I think it's harsh to call Johan Wieser because he hasn't even kicked the ball in training yet, let alone, well, you might have now, but he hasn't stepped foot on the pitch.
The point is, because I'm looking at this tweet, I'm looking at this tweet, bro. Yeah, he's 29 years old. His contract was ending this summer coming up, right? So you could have got him on a free if you waited. He's got AFCON in December, and he's been injured. So basically, what this guy's saying is, he's going to play his debut 4 months before the end of the season.
It don't work like that, LB. It don't work like we lost both of our strikers last summer. Wilson went on a free because he didn't want to stay. We offered him a contract. He wants to play regular football, although he's not really getting that West Ham. But by the by, and we were in a position where we were losing Isak. We had to sign 2 strikers. We're going over old ground. You know how difficult it was for Newcastle United to sign strikers in this summer. We had to overpay. It got to that point where we had to overpay. And Johan Wiese was one we always targeted.
Should have signed Paqueta, bro.
He was always going to be the Wilson replacement. We then had to go and sign Nick Voltemade because of the Isak situation, and we had to have 2 strikers. Look at what we're doing at the moment. We've got Johan Wiese that's injured, and we're having to put Willa Sula on the pitch, who at times is done okay, but for the most of it, he's not ready. He's not, and this is where we're at. Like, so for me, we had to sign Johan Wiese because there was nobody else.
Wiese, okay, yeah, but then Elanga and Ramsey.
Okay.
I mean,
So
the point
Ramsey,
on Ramsey, Billy wasn't even asked.
Well,
I remember Billy just saying, "Yeah, he's all right. He gets injured a lot, but basically just a PSR."
Well, that wasn't what he was saying at the time. He wasn't happy to lose him. He wasn't happy to lose him.
I remember the stream. He was not bothered really at all.
That's not what he was saying in the chat. Come on, you know that.
No,
but
anyway,
regardless.
Billy, was you gutted when he left? You wasn't gutted when he left.
I wasn't overly gutted because I think 40 million for a player that's with few goals and assists over the past couple of seasons, injury prone, 40 million is a good deal. But Jacob Ramsey is a player that I've always loved and will always wish the best of. That's how I am with Jacob Ramsey. And I was actually going to ask Pete about Jacob Ramsey because I've not really been following him too much. I don't really know how he's getting on. I know he picked up an injury. I know he's been back since. How is he getting on, Pete?
Well, this is the point that I want to make, is because I want Jacob Ramsey in the team and I want Joe Linton out the team. Joe Linton's giving me nothing right now. He's a physical guy in games where he's perfect, where we're sitting deep, we're pressing high and trying to hit on the counter attack, and he's that type of guy. But when you're a team that we are now that are looking to hold possession and build play with the ball at his feet, he's no good at it. He's no good at it. And I watched Jacob Ramsey come in against Benfica and be one of the best players on the pitch. He was absolutely fantastic that game, and he played in that Joe Linton role. And I want him starting games, but he's, Joe Linton started on Sunday. I don't know what, he didn't give me anything in the whole time he's on the pitch. I'm actually shocked that he didn't get subbed. And I wanted Jacob Ramsey on a lot earlier. Jacob Ramsey did more than Joe Linton did in that short period of time he was on the pitch than Joe Linton. So I fully expect Jacob Ramsey to start on Wednesday against Bilbao. I want him now to have a run of games. He's back fit. He looks good in the way he's playing. He's making intelligent runs. He's unlucky not to score already. He's had a couple of decent chances. I want him in the team, but this is the thing. He got injured. He was out for 5 weeks. I want him back so we can get a proper look at what he can offer. So again, that's really difficult to say. And the Elanga one, you're absolutely right to question that deal. First of all, we did need a second right winger because Jacob Murphy was the only one. He was the only right winger in our club. And once Miguel Almiron left, so we had to get, in terms of the squad, we had to get a second right winger. Was he our first choice? Absolutely not. But look, we've got him now. He hasn't started well. He's had 1 or 2 decent moments. He's missing chances.
I don't think he's better than Jacob Murphy.
Sorry?
I don't think he's better than Murphy.
No, he had a good season last season at Forest, but Jacob Murphy outperformed him.
Murphy was fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, he was. He was. But this is the thing. Look, I could sit here and I could absolutely bash Anthony Elanga, but it's still.
No, it's not about bashing him. I'm more looking at the board and going, why are you signing these players that are not moving the needle? I'm looking at Newcastle to say, all right, okay, you've had a mint year, yeah, top 4, won a cup, yeah, mega. How do you move the needle now? Because you've got money to spend. You spent a lot of money. And then you signed Elanga, who I don't think's better than Murphy, so that's not going to help you one little bit. You bought Ramsey, who Billy was not asked about. I just watched in the chat. I went in the chat to type in, when Billy found out in the chat, he put, can't complain, good deal. So he wasn't asked about that deal. And then you bought Viss or whatever, cool. Viss not a bad player. I just look at that and I just think, no needle movers, man. It was just like sort of staying at that level rather than going up, man, and try and get like some top quality ballers like when you were signing Bruno G's of the world and that. I still think you should have gone and got Paqueta, man. I'm going to say, I said it all summer. He was right there. Rumour has it that he was available for decent money, 30, 40 million.
Well, it'd be a Villa player if it wasn't for Fabrizio Romano. interesting.
How much was it? How much was the fee reported?
I think it was about 35-40 million.
Bro, Newcastle should have been all over that deal, man. He can play in the front line. He can play midfield.
He'll leave West Ham in January, by the way. I'm convinced of it.
He what?
I reckon he'll leave West Ham in January. Paqueta.
Yeah, I reckon he'll get to Villa. I reckon he'll move. He'll get to Villa. But we won't get him now because that's. I just don't think we'll go for him. But to say that we're done in the market, like, you're wrong. Like, we will be going back into the market, whether it's January or in the summer, and we'll be picking up players. We have to remember we didn't even have a sporting director throughout the whole of that summer window. We now have Ross Wilson in, which has come with glowing references from Forest in the work that he's done, and he's already getting to work in terms of recruitment for January. So just because we signed those players in the summer doesn't mean that, we've signed all those players, we've spent all the money, it's gone. We haven't. We've still got money to spend, and we will spend it. There's no doubt about it. Like, in January and in the summer, we will go again.
But you need to get Needle. My point is, get Needle. Don't be getting like Elangas and Ramses. You got to go and get that fucking ballers that's going to improve. The worst thing you can do as a club, yeah. I've said about my team, we've done it in the last couple of years. Yeah, is buying players that don't move the needle. But the whole point of a transfer is to buy a player that can improve.
Yeah, but it's harder for City to go out there and buy players that are going to move the needle when the level of City players are at.
No. Yeah, but the problem, but City have done it where it's been fucking obvious.
Yeah,
like Nunes and that.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's still a harder task to set out and go, right, I need to go and find players better than the current 11 or players that.
No, it's not really. We don't have a right back at the football club. My right winger scored 1 Premier League goal in 2 years. You know what I mean? It's not really that difficult.
LB, let me ask you, you're looking at the recruitment and the board from Newcastle perspective. I don't disagree with the players.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's not reactionary. I said it in the summer.
No, I know you did, and I don't sit here and disagree. I think that I said it as well. But what I was hit back with was, why didn't they go in for Mbumo? He was never going to pick Newcastle. Why didn't they go in for Kudus? He was never going to pick Newcastle. Why didn't you go in for Semenyo? He was never going to leave Bournemouth and go to Newcastle. So where are Newcastle going then? Because those are the players they should have been getting. Then they're stuck with Elanga and Ramsey. We've just said,
who's saying those players wouldn't have gone to Newcastle? Who's saying that?
People in chats and people on social media.
So you're telling me Semenyo is at Bournemouth, with due respect, is going to say not going to Newcastle? I don't see that one little bit.
But that's what I'm getting at. So how do Newcastle improve is my question. Because if they can't get those players, they might as well just they're just going to end up getting replacements for who they are.
There are other players out there. There are other players out there. We're talking about the players that we see in the media because they play in this country all the time. Newcastle United have already proven this summer that we can go out.
Okay, I'll ask you then, Pete. What would you like that 150 to be spent on? Give me the 3 players you'd like that 150 to be spent on.
What, in terms of players coming in?
Yeah. If you're not happy with Ramsey, Elanga, and whoever, Vissa. Who would you like to have gone for in the summer that you think,
to be fair, one of the right wingers I always wanted is Akliouche at Monaco. We were linked with him. I rate him. I think he's quality, and I think he's the type of creative player that could make a difference. Someone mentioned about Rafa Leao, but he's more of a left winger. Look, I would absolutely trade Rafa Leao for Gordon all day long. I would absolutely. He might not have.
That wasn't the priority in the summer, though, was it?
It wasn't the priority in the summer, no. But that's just because someone's mentioned it in the chat. Like, he's a player, but Akliouche was definitely a player that I would have wanted. Look, Brian Bremer would have been the first choice. Brian Bremer was a perfect fit in style for Newcastle United. But the problem is that he already wanted Man United. It was already been well documented from Newcastle's perspective that they didn't even get the opportunity to have the conversation because they were told straight away by his agent he was going Man United. So already we're on the back foot. Now, to add to that, in my opinion, like, Anthony Elanga was one of the full-back options. Eddie Howe liked certain players with experience of playing in the Premier League. He'd had a good season. He created and assisted a lot of opportunities for Chris Wood. And so he's looking at his assist record. He's looking at can he be a good alternative to Murphy, and that's why he looked at it. I'm not necessarily saying that's the perfect deal, but that's why he maybe have gone for him. But I think we needed a different style of player to come in and play that right wing, and I think Akliouche would have been a great option.
I agree.
Do you think some of your fans have a point then? I mean, maybe Howe's got a little bit too much control, because it might, again, look from the outside looking in, then it looks like your new striker, Walter Maid or whatever his name is, might not have been a Eddie Howe choice, but Eddie Howe's been given the tools and now he's working with them, and for the most part he's getting a tune out of him. Like, maybe if the board at that level actually had more influence over, all right, well, we're bringing you these profiles and you don't all of that to have had Prem experience and you're going to work with what you've got. It looks like Eddie Howe's went and picked the type of players that he's wanted from the Prem, and as it stands, it's not working yet. Do you know what I mean?
But you're forgetting the fact that we didn't have a CEO, because unfortunately he had blood cancer. He was dealing with a lot of other stuff. He's now obviously left the club, and we got the new guy in at the end of the window. We had a sporting director, Paul Mitchell, who was absolutely shocking and left literally 2 days after the end of the season. So Eddie Howe was having to effectively play 3 roles in that summer.
So
he was actually in control of it.
All right, then that's fair enough. Do you think they will continue that, or do you think there will be other people now to come and influence a little bit more going forward?
And this is where it is, and I get why you're saying it, because he did have a lot of control in the summer because he had to. There was nobody else.
I didn't know.
Now we've got our CEO in, David Hopkinson, used to be at Real Madrid. He's got great experience. Like, he's a great fit for us. We've got Ross Wilson, which I've already talked about. They are now in a position where they can do their jobs and Eddie Howe can do his. And so it will be more shared out in terms of, there'll be certain players that Eddie Howe will want on his list and will want to be looking at, but they'll present him with options of, here's now the options available to you, which one's the best fit, and there'll be a discussion there rather than him having to take charge. Eddie Howe was having to do negotiations and things in the summer. That's not his job. That's not what he should be doing, but he's had to. And I'm not going to be mad at Eddie Howe, because Eddie Howe, for the last 2 summers, has had to navigate us through our worst possible summers that we could have asked for, with PSR the other summer, and then with the Isaac situation this summer. He's had to navigate this club through those moments. And whilst doing that, has got us Champions League football and won us a trophy. Like, I can't be mad at him for that. But now the decisions need to be made by the people in those roles above him. And that's what needs to happen moving forward. I think the recruitment will be different moving forward. We've signed players that we've still got massive question marks about. Anthony Langer, absolutely. I think we need to see more of Jacob Ramsey, because I think he's a player. I think he's going to do well in this team.
It's just about keeping Ramsey fit. That's his only problem. Yeah, if you can get him playing consistently with a good run of games under him, he will be a very good player for you. But it's just keeping him fit that's going to be the issue.
And it will be exactly the same with Johan Wieser. Johan Wieser hasn't been injured in 4 years up until Congo were an absolute disgrace and an amateur international team, and just played him when he barely kicked the ball in pre-season. Once we get him back fit and him and Nick Voltermader can rotate, then you're going to see a better output of Newcastle United, because Johan Wieser offers something completely different to this team, and we're excited to see that. We're not even talking about the fact that we just signed Malik Chow, who, for me, even he's our only shining light in what was a shocking performance on Sunday. Even then, that guy was still balling out. That guy is for us signing him from AC Milan for 30 million is an absolute steal. Like, he is a top player, and he's had a great start to the season. So we have made some good signings.
But again, it goes to the point of the players from abroad. He's been able to get a tune out over the players from the UK.
But you look, you ask most Newcastle United fans that you speak to on social media, right? We've been calling for Newcastle United to go back into the European market. Look at the players that were signed from Europe: Sven Botman, Bruno Guimaraes, Alexander Isak. They're just 3 to start with. And then you've added the likes of Malik Chow onto there. The players that we're signing from Europe are good quality players that have come in and made an instant difference. Then you add Nick Voltermader to that. There is absolutely success in the European market. We need to do more of it. Eddie Howe likes his Premier League English-based players. That's fine. But actually, the players that we're getting from Europe are actually turning out to be better signings. And yet, King Hoddle, how can I forget Sandro Tonali, who's probably one of the best of the lot? Like, we have got great track record of signing from Europe. And this is the frustration, is that we're crying out for Newcastle to go and spend that money abroad, because actually we've got our best value from signing from abroad. And we need to continue that.
Look, I want to move because I've got City and Arsenal to close on, but I agree a lot with what Pete's just said. I don't think it's been recruitment as a whole. I do think the summer was just a mess, and I think a lot behind the scenes went wrong. The Alexander Isak thing did not help whatsoever. I think Vissa will come good as well, by the way. I think he's a very good player. We haven't seen enough of him yet. I think Malik Chow's an excellent centre-half, and alongside Botman, I think he'll do well. So I think there's definitely some positives with Newcastle, but I just didn't think they'd be sitting in 13th with 10 games. God, I really didn't. I thought they'd be better than that. But we'll see.
Just look at the league, though. Just look at how tight that league is from where we are.
Oh yeah, no, it is 100%.
At the moment. To, like, for example,
2 wins and then we go straight up.
We're 3 points off Villa, but Villa with a win against Liverpool could have gone second. That's just how crazy this league is. So I'm not getting bogged down by where we are positional wise. But what I will say, and I'll end it on this: we all expected to beat West Ham as Newcastle fans on Sunday. Of
course.
We have to now beat Brentford away on Sunday. Forget Bilbao. That's not my interest. We'll probably win that game and we'll be in a great position in the Champions League, which is brilliant. But I don't care about that. I need to beat Brentford on Sunday. And we have to go out there and put a performance in and get a result there. That's a must.
No, I agree. I totally agree with you, bro. That is a must now. And it is competitive in the league. 2 wins and it puts you up to 5 places or whatever it be. So I totally agree with that, to be fair. Look, I see Liverpool as a threat still. I can't lie. I think they've got 2 good players. But Manchester City, when they've got Haaland, they just look different gravy. And I actually think, I didn't see the game yesterday, LB, but I was out, obviously. But I do think that, from what I understand, there was a couple of other players that deserved to mention. It wasn't just the Haaland show. Now, I might be wrong there. I don't know. I didn't watch it. But apparently Cherky's getting mentioned quite a bit.
Balling out, bro.
Bro. So, I mean, look, you're going to back your boys, and I get it. Right, I don't think City are back to being treble scary and all this stuff, but you certainly can't write you off at the moment when you got Haaland on fire, when you still got Pep Guardiola, which I wouldn't write off. Are things looking good right now, or is it a little bit too reliant on Haaland still? Are you better as a team? Like, what's happening, bro?
We're definitely better. I thought it was our best performance for the season yesterday, if I'm being honest with you. It was a pretty much full 90 minutes of. We've had 45 minutes. We've had good 45 minutes throughout the season, but then like the first half will be dead, second half good, first half good, second half dead type thing. Yeah. But yesterday was the first game where, for the majority of the game, we played well, and I thought that was our best performance of the season, and we handled Bournemouth really well. Bar the Bozo error from Donnarumma, they didn't really do a great deal. You know what I mean? We managed to defend them quite well, and Nico Gonzalez, fucking unbelievable performance from him again in midfield, top performance. And Cherky was the one, man. You know what I mean? I've been a City fan who's been, not wanting to rush him in the team. I remember when he started the first game against Spurs, and I said it was an incorrect decision. I don't think he should have started. We've held him back. Then he got an injury, which obviously forced him back. And now I've been like, right, start. I think he should have started last weekend against Villa, if I'm being honest with you. But anyway, that didn't happen. He started yesterday, and he was just fucking mint, bro. He started against Swansea in a week, was class again, man of the match. And he was just mega. Playing the ball in behind for Haaland, every opportunity. Haaland's going to love playing with him. 2 assists. Bro, he was just fucking mint, bro. You know what I mean? And then this new system that Pep played yesterday, where Foden, Cherky, and Doku were all basically in the centre of the pitch, and we had fullbacks bobbing forward. It was just mint, bro. The whole thing was good, man. It was nice. So, yeah, decent. Haaland, 27 goals this season for club and country.
That's ridiculous, man.
For club and, already in November. I wonder how many goals Gyökeres will score this year in all comps for club and country. I mean, or Isak, or you know what I'm saying?
He's injured now, isn't he, Gyökeres?
Bro, these numbers are fucking.
Who was that idiot that said that Isak was better than Haaland? Who was that idiot? Clown that guy is, Jesus.
Class, and like his hold up play and everything is just linked up better. Like it's the best version of Haaland we've ever seen. And our defense is doing well. You know what I mean? That's massively improved. I've been saying people are still speaking on our defense like it's trash. It's not. People will realize that it's not bad. And we're just doing it. Our big problem still is that we still struggle against the better teams. Yeah, we've won 7 out of 24 games against the top 6 in the last 2 seasons.
That's not good, man.
That's very, very poor. So, but I feel this new way of City playing a bit more pragmatic and that. Yeah, I think it might benefit us in the bigger games. It almost benefited us at the Emirates. We were minutes away from a win there. So we'll see. But for me, our next 2 games are Liverpool and Newcastle. Yeah, we didn't win either of the games last year. Do you know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens, man. But listen, with Haaland on the pitch, with Cherky on the pitch, with Nico G on the pitch, we've got a chance, man. We got a chance. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just a bit weird. It just feels like a little bit still. Like last week was obviously disappointing in that, and I think Pep got it completely wrong with the starting 11, if I'm being honest with you. But at the same time, we had no DM. I didn't know this yet, Billy, but that's 3 years in a row we've been at Villa Park and not had a DM. Do you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2 years ago we had no DM. Last year we had no DM.
Beating you the last 3 years at Villa Park, I think.
Yeah, I know exactly. So it's pissing me off, but we'll see what happens, bro. But I feel like City in a good spot, man. I feel like City in a decent spot. We're just getting on with our business and that, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm buzzing, man. I'm kind of buzzing watching City.
Do you think Haaland can do what Salah did for Liverpool last season and just go say, yeah, I'm going to take us to the next level?
I think it's funny when you say that, because a lot of people say, oh, you can't rely on Haaland. And I'm like, well, Liverpool kind of relied a lot on Salah last year and it fucking worked for them. Yeah, I don't see why not. He's I know he's had 1 or 2 injuries, but he's not a player that is mad injury prone. He's not really a mad injury prone player.
Has he had a full season though?
At treble year, I think he had a full season. Yeah,
okay.
I think in a treble year when he scored 50 odd goals. So
that must be a concern though. I know it's a concern for every team that your best player gets injured, but if you're so reliant on him, I think I saw a stat today that was, I think Esteve Burnley's that your second highest goal scorer for the season.
Yeah.
Surely there's got to be a worry there. And like I say, it's stupid because everyone's worried that their best players will get injured. But if that does happen, if he does pick up an injury, even if it's not a long-term 2-3 monther.
Yeah, if it's like a 6 week or something, that's a concern for surely.
Well, it is. But like you say, Billy, like, what can you do? You know what I mean? He's not injured at the moment. And obviously, everyone hopes their best players don't get injured. So it's not something that I give much energy to. If it happens, then you deal with it and you work out how you move forward from that point of view. And the thing is, when he's scoring this many goals, I don't really need another player to be bagging loads.
No,
I just need something. The problem is with the other player, I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting nothing from Foden. I'm not getting anything from Doku, Savinho. Obviously, Cherky's only just come in. But I'm literally getting 0 goals. I said on my stream this morning, I said, I only need 1 goal a month from Foden, Cherky, Doku, and I'm chilling. Because they'll supplement the goals for Haaland. When Haaland's scoring literally 2 goals a game, on average, I don't need bare goals. I just need just the odd goal here or there, and that'll be fine. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not really getting that at the moment, so that's the only thing, man.
Remember, you got Mamouche as well. Mamouche is a goal scorer. So when you get him back in and he's up and running and properly under his spell again, like
lose him in 6 weeks, don't we?
Well, yeah, but up until then he can still do the business. But then you're going to need someone like Cherky to step in. You're going to need Foden, like you said. They're just chipping in now and again. It's fine. The biggest thing that you need is that consistent service to Haaland, because I think there was times last season where the service just wasn't right for him or just wasn't quite good enough. You've got to consistently give that quality service, because remember, so many times under Kevin De Bruyne was he providing the bullets for kind of Haaland to finish off. Now you haven't got that, so you're going to need whoever it is, whether it's one person or a group of them, to chip in and provide those bullets for him. And if they do that, he is going to put them away, because he's got that kind of that tunnel vision mindset right now, where he is just on it and he's just all about scoring goals. And if he does that, you will be right up there. But I like, you know what? I like what Man City are doing. No one's really talking about them. It's all like obviously Arsenal and Liverpool is such at the moment. But Man City are building and growing into the season. And if you continue to do that, you're going to then find your feet. And you know what Man City are like second half of the season. They can be formidable. So if you can build your team to be ready to go, maybe you got money to spend in January. Will you dip into it again, or is this what you've got now for the season?
Well, I think it's what I was saying this morning on Saeed's channel. I think there's so much more upside, bro, to this Manchester City team from where we currently are. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're in like gear 2, bro. Do you know what I mean? I think there's so much more to come. You know what I mean? But there's no guarantee it will. Yeah, and there's also a question of when. So just because I say that, I don't mean that's a mid thing.
Who do you mean by that? Like, do you mean personnel or as a team, or what?
No, as a team, just everything gelling together. I mean, that's the second time I think Cherky started for us in the league. You know what I mean? So like, the more he starts, the more he gets used to playing with Foden. That was a brand new system that we played yesterday in midfield. We're not seeing that all season. You know what I mean? And that was our best performance. The more they do that, the more they can get used to it. Just stuff like that, man. Like Pete said, Marmouche has only just come back. He come on, he wasn't fully fit. So, as he gets back into it, stuff, just shit like that, man. I don't know, mate, but we'll just see what happens, man. Like, we'll see. I just think we're in a good spot. I feel like Pete says, man, like, we just kind of like doing our thing, and like this doesn't really seem to be a lot of talk on City at the moment, which
is weird. Which is weird,
quite good for us, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it is good.
On the radar a little bit.
Like, I don't know how you.
Everyone's just speaking about Haaland and saying it's Haaland. It's kind of like, that's cool. That's cool with me, because that means people are watching the actual team performance. Because the team performance yesterday was the best I've seen all season. People aren't speaking about it. People are just going, "Oh, it's Haaland. It's Haaland. It's Haaland." It's like, all right, we'll speak on Nico O'Reilly fucking absolutely dominating at left back. Speak on fucking Nunes, who's been absolutely crazily good in these last. Speak on Nico Gonzalez. To where we're at a point now where I'm actually having legit conversations about whether I'd start him or Rodri at Liverpool next week. That's how good he's been. Been absolutely fantastic. So, like, these things that are just happening, that are just chilling and that. And
What about Doku? Doku's been good.
Doku, when he's been playing in off the, and it's funny you say that actually, Pete, because the first time Doku, when he's been playing inside rather than as a touchline winger, has been phenomenal. And the first time he ever did it, actually, I don't know if you remember it, was at your gaff was it in the first year or last year? I can't remember if it was last year or it was his first season, but in the last 2 years, the first time he ever did it was at Newcastle, right? And he caused you boys a lot of trouble in that game in the middle of the park, and then we never seen it again. Anyway, we've been having conversations about Doku. We got to this summer, a lot of talk about whether he should stay. Anyway, he stayed, and then Pep's been playing him in this centre position, and about a month ago, he played about 4 or 5 games, and he was probably one of our best players. And then Pep, for some reason, changed it and put it back on the wing, and then he dropped off again. Anyway, this week he's put him back in the middle with Cherky and Foden, and he's just phenomenal. Because when he's on the wing, he's kind of limited as to what he can do. He's always going to the byline. He's not cutting in because he ain't got that cut in and whip it in with his. He can't iron Robin it. Yeah, he's not got that in his locker. So he's always going to touchline. So even though he's mint at taking players on, players kind of know what he's going to do. But when he's tucked in, he can go left or he can go right, and it's hard for players to defend. So, yeah, he's been great, man. He's been great. We'll see, man. But like I say, I just see this next 3 games. We've got Dortmund on Wednesday, which is a must-win. We've got Liverpool at the weekend, which I think is a must-win game. And then we've got to go St. James's Park, where we're going to have to play fighters, which is what you should have done.
I hate you lot. I hate you lot, man. We never beat you. We never beat you at SJP, man.
Yeah, but you never lose. You've not lost there for a while, have you? 2 years in a row? I don't think you've lost.
Yeah, but like we like that 3-3 game, like we should have won that one.
Yeah, that was on my
list. We need one, man. We need. Come on,
I need you to, Pete. I need you to, Pete. That's what I need. But I kind of need. What I need to happen is we need to beat Sunderland. We need Liverpool and City to draw, and we need Newcastle to beat City. And then both Liverpool and City, I will then get my chest out and say Arsenal are going to win the league, because you can't go like 9 points clear of them both and not win it this time, surely, with this squad.
You're going too far here. Just beat Sunderland.
Yeah, I know you want us to beat them.
just beat them. In fact, just I'm not asking for much. Just a 5-0. 5-0.
I would take anything, bro. I just want 3 points, man. That's all I'd take. But look, let's close quickly on Arsenal, because a lot of talk is on that Arsenal are a little bit lucky at the moment, and it's not great how they're playing, and they're boring, and Ezra's not very good, and Saka's rubbish, and Gyökeres is nowhere near good enough for Arsenal. And I'm like, crikey, we're sitting top of the tree somehow, and all that's like very negative from people.
That sounds
think
like
a lot
what
of
people were
people are
saying about City when we were top of the league, bro.
It's weird, man.
Boring.
It's like that.
It's kind of like you've run out of what it was for me. You kind of ran out of things to sort of like say, "Oh, you shit at that, you shit at that," so they just call you boring.
Yeah.
I remember
just
people
say
saying about
you're
City all the
boring.
time. I was like, okay, we're boring, but we're winning trebles and Premier Leagues.
Yeah.
Okay. It's sort of like bottom of the barrel, like you're shit, but they can't say you're shit because you're not shit, so they just say you're boring. I've seen that before. City had it.
They pick up. If you notice today, Don and George did it on Said's channel. They picked up on the question was Arsenal 1-2-0. You must be happy, Potts. And they're like, oh, Eze was pretty crap, and Saka ain't that good, is he? I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Have you picked up Saka and Eze's performance on a 2-1 victory? It's like we lost 2-0 and they picked up why we've lost. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't get it.
You know why it is, Potts? Is that people get like that when they know the team is serious, and that's the reality. Is that they start nitpicking on little things and performances because they know that you guys are that team at this moment in time. You are that team that could actually genuinely win the league, because everyone's been saying for years, you know, oh, they'll bottle it or they'll drop it and this, that, and the other. And I've said it to you last week, it might have been last week or the week before, when you know, with Arsenal, they've always had a Liverpool that's pushed them. They've always had a Man City that's pushed them. But at this moment in time, you guys are out in front, and you're the ones that are well out there in the lead right now. You're probably going to go another couple of points ahead of both of them if it's a draw, or certainly one of them you're going to be jumping ahead of again. And you know, it doesn't look like that train's stopping at any point, and that's why teams and fans will be responding like that. That's just the reality.
They felt so bitter. Like, and I'm big up to Don and George. I love them both, but I mean, I wouldn't like it if either of them were top of the tree. But I'm sitting there thinking there was serious like doubt over every one of our players, and I'm like, hang on a minute, we've got the best defense in the league. I think it's quite clear. I know they're bitter and they're jealous of it and stuff, but I'm just like, you're picking on Saka, a player who's carried us for the last 4 years. You're saying Eze's been poor for Arsenal when I've not been massively convinced and think he's been outstanding. But at the same time, he set up Gyökeres against Forest. He scored against Palace. He set up Martinelli against Man City, and he scored in the League Cup. So that's 4 goals and assists in the last, he only played 8 games for Arsenal? It's not exactly shambolic, is it? Gyökeres has got 6 goals in 13 games, which is nearly 1 every 2. Oh, but he's only got 2 in 1 game, and he got another 2 in another, and he got 2 in that. I don't give a shit, man. If he scores a brace, brilliant. I'll take that. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't really get where it's coming from at the moment. And this is coming from me, who can see things definitely as a kind of worry or concern in certain elements of the game. But right now, we are defensively so good that I'm going into every game, boys, believing that we're going to take something, because we don't look like we're conceding goals. And when you've got a defense that's that good, and I know this from when I was in George Graham days growing up, that back 5 we had back then, Adams, Bold, Winterburn, Dixon, Seaman in goal, I was like, well, no one's really scoring against us, so let's go and get with it. And we had Wrighty who could score. Now we've got players in goals by committee. We don't have a Haaland figure. We're kind of, if I'm honest, LB, we're kind of the opposite to you, you know. Not in terms of our defense is good and yours is crap.
You just get people that chip in everywhere.
Yeah, we've got players that chip in. You're like, has Haaland scored? Yep, good. Right, let's move 3 points next game. I think with us, we're like, we've had Trossard who scored, Martinelli has scored, Eze scored, Saka's scored. We've got Gyökeres who scored. In midfield, we've got Rice that scored. We've got Zubimendi that scored.
I get it.
At the back, all 4 of them have scored goals. Like Calafiori, Timber, Gabriel, and Saliba this season, I think have all scored. It might just be Saliba that's the only one who hasn't. So for me, I'm thinking, wow, I think there's only 3 players Arsenal have got in their squad that haven't scored. That's mad this season. So I kind of feel like it's happening at the moment. The only reason that we won't win the league is because of us, not because of Liverpool or City, too good. Not this time. It won't be that. The squad won't be that. The manager, maybe. The mentality might not be there. But we're the only reason that we can't win this league, in my opinion. Because I
think though, right, that when you get into sort of like the knockout rounds of because the thing is, I still think you're better suited to knockout football, which means I think you're going to go far again in the Champions League, right? So when you go far in the Champions League, navigating that late, and this is obviously more of a long-term sort of opinion based on like going into late, like, you know, when you're in March, April, May type thing, that's when it could get interesting for you. Because I don't really look at Arsenal at the moment and think they're going to slip up like now or anytime soon. Yeah, because I just don't see that. I just think that, like, because you're good, you're going to go far in the Champions League, in my opinion. But that's when it could start getting really tough for you, when you're playing every 3 days, but you're playing like fucking Bayerns and Real Madrids and PSGs, you know what I mean? And then you've got to go away to like a fucking Brentford or something like just shit like that, man. So because I'm the thing is with Arsenal is, yeah, I think you're a good team. Even though Arsenal fans cut me all the time, yeah, because they think I hate you. I don't. I think Arsenal are a very good team. I don't know, man. I just feel like come the end of the season, are you going to have enough? And I just still don't know, man. But there's no doubt about it. You're going to be up there for sure. You're getting the job done. You're getting the wins. You're farming the wins. You're taking advantage of City and Liverpool's tricky fixtures at the moment by just getting wins. You know what I mean? I remember about 2 weeks ago, we looked at the fixtures. We looked at Liverpool's and City's fixtures and thought, both teams are probably going to drop points at some point, and then one of them is because they play each other. And you guys have favourable fixtures. Your job was to just get your job done. It don't have to be pretty. Yeah, this is why when Don and George are speaking, you can tell these guys haven't won a Prem for a long time. Yeah, because in the case of George, he's never won one. Because when City are playing Aston Villa, and then Liverpool are coming to City next week, you just got to get your job done by hook or crook. Just win the game, because then you can sit back and go, all right, let's City win. That's good for us because Liverpool are out of it. Liverpool win, good, because that means City draw, great. Your job is just to get the win on the board, man. Do you get what I'm saying? And I thought the thing this morning on Eze
against Sunderland, man. If I'm honest, they'll beat Sunderland and sit there and be like, right, Liverpool City.
Exactly, bro. Even if you play dog shit,
we're real, man. We have to.
I thought the thing this morning on Eze was ridiculous, and I couldn't believe how much I was defending Arsenal and Eze this morning. But I thought that was jokes, man. Like. That was, and I could tell, yeah, because they were the only two fans on the panel this morning, yeah, who support London clubs, and you could tell that they was pure salty, bro. You could tell it, man.
It was, man. It was quite a shock. I didn't expect it, to be fair. And then George basically brought up, "Oh, you can't cook Wirtz when Eze's not been good," and I'm like, "What are you talking about, man? Wirtz was 116 million pounds." And Eze has come into Arsenal and he's not been breathtaking. And he's got the goals and assists and he is settling into his side. He's literally coming up to the next level. Wirtz is supposed to be a world-class, like, next level. So I just couldn't believe the comparison. But, it is what it is. Listen, man, we're well overrun. So I'm going to get out of here. But before I do that, Billy and Pete, very quickly. If Arsenal don't win this league, who does?
Man City or Liverpool?
No, which one? Which one?
You can't have both.
That's what I said. Or go on, Pete.
If Arsenal don't win, it'll be City.
Yeah, a part of me still thinks that Liverpool will do it. To be honest with you.
Okay.
No, not having it. Not having it.
I'm like, yes, Pete, but then I remember he just fucking hates Liverpool.
No.
I'm like,
it's hard for you guys to hear like the genuine opinion of me when it comes to this, because look, I don't want Liverpool to win a goddamn thing whilst that clown is at their club. But look, I as I said to you boys before, I think City are building nicely into the season, and I think they're only just getting started. I think Arsenal are going to have to continue that good form deep into the season, because I think Man City will pick up enough wins between now and say February to really push you guys. You're going to have to. It's not going to be a runaway, in my opinion, this season, but you're going to have to create a big enough gap that it's harder for them to catch you over the course of the season. So you're going to have to be consistent.
Look, January is massive. Tim's in the chat there. January. I think January is massive for the clubs as well. I think that's going to be a massive. It always is. And we see what happens there. But look, man.
If Arsenal get Rodrigo, then wrap it up, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. I don't know if that is true. Semenyo is being linked with us, but
Rodrigo's got to be leaving either the January or the summer because the guy don't play football.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. It is, but I'd take him tomorrow, man. I wanted him in the summer, but if we got him, then yeah, it should be a wrap. But the thing is, Gyökeres is out. They reckon it ain't short term either, which means we've got Marino back up
Wow,
front.
what's wrong with him?
Muscle injury, and apparently he's definitely out tomorrow, potentially out for Sunderland. They don't know if he's back after the international break yet, so we find out. But hopefully he's back for the Spurs game after the international break. So yeah, 3 to 4 weeks they're saying that could be. Yeah, so that means he'll be back by the. Yeah, he's probably going to be missing the Tottenham and Chelsea game as well, which is not good. So we'll have Marino up front again, unless Havertz is back after the international break, which is saying Havertz and Madueke.
I was going to ask where Havertz has gone.
Yeah,
just
saying
injured.
he could be back for Spurs. Yeah, it could be back for after the international break. So yeah, that's the problem with Arsenal. We have one in, one down. It's like with Saka. There's like Madueke's there. Oh, now Madueke's injured. Saka's come back, and we like that now with Havertz and Gyökeres. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But listen, people, make sure you do me a favor. Hit like if you haven't done so already. Make sure you hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell. There's been a mad YouTube algorithm which is killing a lot of content creators at the moment, and the notification bells are not coming on. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know if you guys have had that PLB, etc. But a lot of people have been messaging me saying, "I never knew you were live," which is why the
Yeah, I've
views
been
are
getting
like,
it loads, man.
yeah, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. The views have been hitting people hard this couple of months. So make sure you're showing the love as best you can. Make sure you're sharing the content and make sure you're following every single one of these guys. We got Billy, we got Pete, we got LB. So make sure you show some love. And yeah, we're going to get out of here, people. Take care. Up the Arsenal.